What do we humans hate? It seems to me a lot of phrases go through my mind, and I jotted them down just now. For instance, how about the word, "it's so unfair"? Or you might have heard, "it's a travesty of justice," thus. And so if we feel we came out with the, quote, "short end of the stick," we might want compensation. And that can even go to the extent of wanting revenge. But I have to ask myself, what is unfairness? Next, consider the phrase loser, or consider how much in general we hate to, quote, lose. What does that mean, to lose? And what is competition then, in which it is deemed one person is the winner and the other is the loser? Indeed, are you a loser if you were never born, if you were never conceived even? And who's to say that you had any role in either of these? And to continue then, consider these sometimes somewhat off-color comments like, how we hate, quote, getting screwed over, or how we hate getting caught with our pants down, how we hate being taken, or being taken to the cleaners, so to speak. Indeed, how we hate being played, how we hate being conned, and overall, how we hate being, quote, naive or called naive. How we hate the phrase applied to us having our heads buried in the sand. And consider if we were to say to someone else, "Oh, you're in denial. You're blocking something out." Is the other person supposed to feel ashamed then? Why? It seems to me we hate all too often as human beings feeling weak. And isn't that interesting how that might then tie into a feeling that we should be omnipotent, especially in terms, not say of physical strength, but mental clarity to know everything, and thus be omnipotent, all-powerful. I have to ask myself, too, surely we realize we are not all-powerful. So what's the big problem then, especially when around other people? Do they tend sometimes to reject us if we are obviously not powerful? If we don't see something, if we, quote, lose, if we are, quote, naive, if we're not quite brilliant, so to speak, does that stimulate in the other person, the viewer, so to speak, feelings that they too must be the same way, instigating a chain of thought then that they're weaker than they thought they were before they met you a minute ago? And I think maybe I'll sum this up with one final question or observation. The lifespan, as we consider it, living versus dying, in America today is about 79 years of age, I believe. Now those who would die physically before this, say 10 years earlier, might claim it's so unfair, or that they got taken, or, quote, got the short end of the stick. But what about those who live to 100, say? Aren't they typically so much less inclined to complain of dying just short of their 101st birthday? Are they going to say they got taken? That life is so unfair because they had to die at 100? Seems to me it's a big comparison game, in part because not measuring up to someone else who is also called a human being causes us to recognize that we are not omnipotent, all-powerful. How that bugs us is a good question, I think. Why it bugs us. I've been pondering this for years now, and we'll ponder it after I'm done recording. End of story.